Hey, what's going on, brothers and sisters? This is George Speak the Truth Lamar. Um, Today I have something that I want to share with y'all. The Lord put something on my heart. Had a vision. It was August 19th. It was a Tuesday morning around 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, beforehand, I just want to let y'all know that I have no reason to make anything up. I've been in prayer for the last few months, trying to draw closer to the Lord, and been asking Him for understanding and knowledge and insight on things to come. And He has confirmed and shown me some things. Now, in this dream, I'll say vision, it was me and my girl Kier. We were at Giant, and walking into the store, the best way I could describe the setting was pandemonium and frustration. It was maybe about 2 lines open, 30 to 40 people per line. Everyone was really frustrated, aggravated, cussing each other out, just really crazy. I did notice some workers who worked for the store moving around, pacing around, running around, trying to help everybody, but to no avail. It really wasn't helping the situation. Everyone was still pretty upset. It was a very obvious sense of something was wrong, and people were panicking, buying stuff, So, this next portion I'm going to share with you, I'm not too sure on what it may mean. Not yet, but I'm going to go ahead and say it anyway, because I'm going to tell the whole vision in full. Basically, I saw one of the managers while she was walking past me and Kier. I asked her for a key to the vault. The vault had money in it. It was 2 vaults. They weren't like your 800-pound, gun safe style cash vaults. It was nothing like that. It was 2 handheld, transportable cash cases. That's more so the word I'm going to use, cash cases. She happily handed me the key. I went in one. In the first one, I was digging in it. I was finding books and things of that nature. I didn't see any money in it. I'm like, okay, well. I looked to go into the second one, and I noticed it was gone. I was confounded. I'm like, man, I know there was money in the second one. So I happened to turn around and I saw a Caucasian male, maybe in his early to mid 40s, beard, just an everyday looking white guy, pretty cool. He was sitting there smiling and had a huge wad of cash. I would say at least maybe $250,000 in one hand, just open wide, holding his money with a smile. Of course, if anybody knows Kier, she's going off. She's like, he went into the second safe. He has the money. You go over there and you cuss him out. I just like, okay, let me just tune this out. I had walked up to him and just said, hey, man, I got $30 to my name. Is there any way I can get some of that? I think it was some type of mix-up. You might have got something I was trying to get, So he handed me some money, maybe about $1,500. I was happy. I was content. Free money, So that's the part of the vision I don't quite understand just yet. So me and Kier walk outside the Giant, and as we get into the parking lot, we hear she hears it first, awkward noises. Something similar to that. She's like, what the heck is that? The noise. I'm like, oh, I'm starting to hear it. I'm like, okay, I don't know. And as soon as I said, I don't know, I looked up, and maybe 500 yards, while we was in the Giant parking lot walking, about 500 yards ahead, across the major street, Van Doren Street, I began seeing jetliners dropping missiles. That was the noise. And immediately I saw the destruction of a whole complex and everything around it. And this is a very specific aspect of the dream that I do recall. I looked down and there was rubble stones and rubble from the destruction rolling to my feet, and it was stopping at my feet. That's how devastating it was. It was rubble, stones, rubble from the missiles rolling to my feet. And like I said, this maybe happened about 400 to 500 yards ahead of me. So immediately, I don't know why I didn't have my vehicle. I do own a vehicle, but in my vision, I didn't have the vehicle. I didn't have no weapons, nothing on me. Immediately said, Kier, come on, we gotta flee. We gotta get indoors somewhere, maybe in a basement somewhere, and stake out for a little bit because we're under attack. The nation was under attack. These airplanes or these jetliners, can't tell you exactly if I saw any. I didn't see any like nationality on them or any type of thing, so I could tell you what nation it was from. But in my spirit, it was foreign. It was a foreign attack. So me and Carrie go running. We're running. We go into this apartment complex that, honestly, at the time of the vision, I was like, that's not, that apartment we ran into wasn't even there. But after reflecting, it's actually an apartment, actually some condos they're building on the intersection of Van Dorn and Pickett. They're not even finished being developed yet, but that's exactly where we had ran. And we go into the basement of it, well, the cellar. We're going through the stairwells. We're running. I'm like, okay, if we get up in the stairwells a couple levels underground, we'll be fine. Maybe in a boiler room or something. I'm noticing people coming out of their apartments, and some people had pajamas on. Some people, just randomly. Like if you walked out your house from wherever you at right now, whatever you had on. Some people might have pajama pants. Some people might have their bonnets on. Some ladies, flip flops, all that. Some people was fully dressed. It was coming out looking confused, and they started. Since they saw me and Kier running, looking like we had a plan, they started following us. I'm like, oh man, damn, why are they following us? So me and Kier and a bunch of other people go down into this boiler room of this complex to stake out, underground, maybe a floor or two. I happened to look out the window of the boiler room, and I noticed there was a vehicle. One guy was driving it up the street, and another guy was hanging out the window. And they were attacking random civilians, random people on the street, shooting them down, gunning them down. And they were foreign. I can't tell you the nationality, but I just knew in my spirit they were foreign. Now, the guy who was hanging out the window, shooting people, looked me dead in my eyes from across the street. And I can almost hear his thoughts or feel his thoughts. His thoughts was, oh, I see you. And I see all the people who are in there with you. I'm coming. I'm on my way. Immediately, I had a small sense of fear. Being that I have a relationship with the Lord, I knew that He would figure something out in my dream. Now, there was 2 entrances to the boiler room. As I'm walking out one entrance, something says, go out, leave out, to see what's going on, see if you can meet them as they're coming in or something. Like I said, I had no weapons. As I'm walking out the boiler room, the first man had already walked in, saw the people, everyone's panicking, and the second guy had just hit the point where he didn't see me walk out because he was following suit behind the guy in front of him. Both of them had fully automatic machine guns. Submachine guns, very third worldish looking gear on, some dirty looking pants, regular shoes. They did have a vest on, it wasn't like in my vision at least, it wasn't as if they were fully opt out, tactical out, like looking like, like a full-fledged army militant. But like I said, the first guy had already went in as I was coming out the second door. And right as I walked out, I saw the second guy following suit with the first man who walked in. I immediately ran up behind him and grabbed him from behind in a chokehold. And both of them had submachine guns. I grabbed the submachine gun and had shot the guy who was in front of him. And all I could think was, this is by the glory of God, because if I would have came out a second earlier or a second later, he would have seen me. You know, if I would have came out a second later, they would have started killing the people in the boiler room. And if I would have came out a second earlier, the second guy who was following the first guy would have seen me out of his parentheals. But I came out right at that exact millisecond where he had his focus ahead of him and was going through the door, proceeding to go through the door. So after I had grabbed the second guy, walked up behind him and put him in the chokehold, and had shot the first guy with his gun, I had scuffled with the second guy, just a bare fight, and wound up killing him with his own weapon. I immediately, after this happened, I just felt a feeling of gratitude that the Lord preserved me. And I normally wouldn't think that this dream would have meant anything, you know, but this is what was the confirmation behind this dream. It's the fact that the dream happened immediately. From that point, it started over, all over again. I'm walking out a giant. Kier's like, what the hell is that noise? Pew, pew, pew. And I already knew what was about to happen, all the way to the point, to the end of it, where I wound up killing the two guys. Happened 2 times in a row. I didn't even wake up in between them. The very next day, I asked the Lord to test the spirits at hand and to verify that it indeed is a confirmation. And I opened my Bible. It came to the book of Genesis, where it talked about Joseph, how his brothers betrayed him, sold him into slavery. And make a long story short, I had read the part of that story where he had interpreted the Pharaoh's dream, because the Pharaoh had a dream 2 times about the famine that was coming to Egypt. And what really stood out to me, and which I felt like the Lord was talking to me, was when Joseph had told the Pharaoh, your dream was doubled because God was sure to bring it to pass. So I say that to say this, that these perilous times ahead, which is inevitable, draw close to the Lord, for He will be your salvation and your safety in these times. May peace be with you.